Are you going to Dayton? Have you started getting your gear ready? Well, stay tuned. I'm here to get you caught up and ready. Let's get this show on the road. Hello and welcome to the Ham Radio Guy podcast, where we explore all things amateur radio, from gear to gadgets to on-air adventures and everything in between. I'm your host, Marvin, call sign W0MET. I'm here to connect you with the latest tips, tricks, news, and stories that take your ham radio experience to the next level. Whether you're a seasoned operator, a weekend potter warrior, or just getting started, this is the place to be. So grab your favorite coffee, tune up your rig, let's get on the air, because the world of amateur radio is awaiting. This is episode number 61. Folks, I'm recording this one about a week late here. Got some family in town. It's been a kind of a crazy time, things going on and a lot of travel back and forth, my Wisconsin site. So we came back last weekend and took a little trip down to Hershey, Pennsylvania. And that made that Sunday drive heck of a lot longer than it needed to be. I think 5 hours turned into around 8 or so. So it was not that that's a long day overall, but just it was a lot of travel for 21 hours of travel here. So anyway, we have an exciting podcast for you today. This is going to be great. You're going to love this one. This is all about, as you might have guessed, Dayton, and I've got so much stuff to cover. We're gonna feel like I'm gonna have to rush to get through all this evening. In fact, so if you guys are coffee lovers and you're ham radio enthusiasts, you can now find the Ham Radio Guy coffee over my Shopify site. I've discussed this several times. I'd love for you guys to go out and try this, and not had a lot of takers on this, so I'd love to have you go out and try it. Again, I've bought a couple bags myself, and I really do like it. It's been a good coffee brew for me. And if you're a coffee lover like me, be sure to check it out over at w0met.myshopify.com. Well, the Ham Radio Guy podcast has been sponsored by Dakota Lithium for a while now. And, I use them on all my trips. I've got the Alaska trip I've told you about I'm planning on, and I'll have two 10-amp-hour batteries with me because the old scenario goes 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So whether you're heading out for a POTA activation like I will be, gearing up for field day about the same time, or just need reliable power for your ham shack, Dakota Lithium has you covered with twice the power, half the weight, and an amazing 11-year warranty. These batteries are designed to keep you on the air longer. And I've mentioned to you before, I know people who've had these batteries 7 or 8 years already, and they are still going strong. So again, I've been using Dakota Lithium batteries for my own portable operations, and let me tell you, the performance is unmatched. No more worrying about dead batteries in the middle of an activation, just pure, dependable power where you need it. So go check out my link, save some money over at the show notes there, and go to dakotalithium.com and use code TheHamRadioGuy. Tell them I sent you. So, if you guys want to join more and get some of this great content I've been putting out, put out 2 shorts today on YouTube. And so, about some breaking news, and I will leave that to be, for you to go see that over there, what those were, for Friday, May 2nd here. And a lot of good stuff. So, if you want to find more of this exciting content, join me over at patreon.com/the Ham Radio Guy. Thank you to all the patrons who do listen and who do support the show. It's a few, but we do appreciate you. It is much appreciated to keep this show on the road and going. And, we will keep moving this along. So I'm having a lot of fun with this right now. It's been some great episodes lately. I've got this new Roadcaster, and this thing's just been amazing. I think the audio on it is much better. So that was a little bit of an upgrade I was able to do this year with my other one having some issues. And so, much appreciated. But back to being a Patreon member, join over at the tech, general, or extra class level. And, I think I've got one person over the general level. Everybody else has joined the extra class, but they're enjoying the extra information and content that I share out with just paid members in advance. And you'll also get the podcast early as well. So I usually try and provide that over there a couple days early. And so you're good to have that available for your release. Well, our top news story we're going to get into this week is, we'll find out right after this. Oh, the suspense. Yes, the top news story this week. Iowa has become the 31st state to exempt licensed amateur radio operators from distracted driving laws that restrict the use of handheld devices. The new law, which takes effect July 1st, bans the use of phones and wireless devices while driving, unless they are used hands-free or by voice. Signed by the governor on April 2nd, after strong legislative support, the law includes a key exemption for hams using two-way radios. As Dave Park, WB8 ODF reports, this move aligns with Iowa with other states like New York, Arizona, and Minnesota in recognizing amateur radio's role in public service. That's a good news for us. It's good to see we've got 31 states in that set of mind that they'll continue to let us use two-way radios while going down the road. So that's awesome. I'm very grateful for that, and great to all the people who did the work to keep them informed about amateur radio operators and the work that we do, and continue to allow us an exemption to those hands-free or voice rules and laws that go into effect in the various states. The other thing for this week is the application period for Youth on the Air Junior Camp. Something I broke with some news from Neil Rapp a couple weeks ago in one of my videos, which is making its debut now for amateur radio operators under the age of 15. Applicants must have a valid U.S. ham radio license and will be expected to attend with a parent or guardian who needn't have a license themselves. This is a 3-day version of the Yoda Regional Wide Camp for older youngsters and is modeled after the Kids on the Air program in IARU Region 1. It will take place in July at the Voice of America Museum in Westchester, Ohio. For details, visit yoda.org. All my news is sourced from the Amateur Radio Newsline, ARRL, POTA, and many other sources. Find out my details in the show link notes. All right, and this is all with a release date of May 2nd, 2025. Well, let's go right into the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week. It's now time for the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week, where Rick tells us the joke. The Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week is brought to you by Ham Radio Prep. Now here is Rick Garrett, N9GSU, with today's Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week.
A ham radio friend of mine recently became, sadly, a silent key. In addition to being a ham radio operator, he was a very popular clown here in the Midwest. I'll tell you what, he sure left some big shoes to fill.
This has been the Ham Radio Guy Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett, N9GSU. Turn in next week for another joke from Rick. If you have not gone out and listened to Rick's Rambles, he does a podcast. You can find him on all the major platforms. I know he's on Apple for sure. That's what I use. But I think he's on Podbean as well. He's got a Twitter. He does some TikTok, Twitter, Facebook stuff. He is a great guy across the board. And N9GSU, Rick Rambles, he does a podcast, a very uplifting and a lot of cool information. He'll share like a song of the week and how that song was developed and why. He'll have a topic. One of them was about Hershey's, or one of them is about possums, or it might be, anything else. He has all kinds of different topics, even about Waffle House one time. So he does a lot of great topics about what how those places came about. And talks about a certain song, whether it's rock or country, and how it was kind of developed and who did it. And then it has some positive, development stuff for your mental health as well. So he does a great job. Thank you, Rick, for those wonderful jokes. We do appreciate it. Today's episode is brought to you by Lido Mounts, your go-to solution for securely mounting your radios, tablets, and accessories, whether you're in the shack, in the field, or on the road. Lido Mounts offers a wide variety of high-quality adjustable mounts that work with all the popular ham radios, from ICOM and Yaesu to Kenwood and more. Whether you're setting up your mobile rig or just need a solid mounting option for your POTA activation, Lido has something that fits your gear and your setup. Check them out over at lidomounts.com and use promo code HAMRadioGuy for a special discount for our listeners. And if you talk to Jim, he's a great guy over there. You can tell him I sent you. That's lidomounts.com. Mount it right for the first time. Again, you can find more notes or more information in the show notes description and go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, please, over at W0MET at thehamradioguy.com. I need just a moment there to clear my throat. So I decided to throw a little something in there for a moment. So I had a moment before I got started with our main topic of the week here, Hamvention 2025. It's exactly 2 weeks away from this date. It is happening May 16th through the 18th at the Greene County Fairgrounds and Expo Center in Xenia, Ohio. That's right, Friday through Sunday, packed with wall-to-wall ham radio everything. Vendors, forums, swap meets, special guests, and the best part, meeting hams from all over the world. We have a lot to get to, so let's get started. So I was going to talk about some Dayton history, how long or far ago Dayton started, but I didn't get that put back into my notes here. I honestly quite forgot about that, but I know Dayton was started many years ago. This has got to be, I'd say 50 plus years, probably in the making. It was in the Dayton Convention Center there. I'm drawing a blank on that for my name at the moment, but I should know what that is. And I'm sure some of you will put in the show notes of what that is, the comments, because I do know it. But the other part was that they moved over to Greene County Fairgrounds about 2016, I think it was. And they've been there ever since, and it's been a great place to be. So now they're there, and you're going to be hopefully going there in 2 weeks. Let's talk about some tickets. General admission is priced about $30 to get in that's for all 3 days. So it'll get you in there all 3 days. So, call it average $10 a day. Not a terrible price overall. And I don't know if they increased the price of the gates or not to like 35 or something, but either way, that still gets you, that $30 will get you, tickets all 3 days of the event. And if you've tried to go online, you order your tickets now, they're no longer being mailed. They're now being held for will call at the gate. So you'll have to wait for them or go in line. And I'd get there early to try and get your tickets to get in line, because that Friday morning lineup will become very long at the gates. Guaranteed. I've been there several times, and I know how that story goes. Now, if you're a junior high school student or junior through high school student, you can obtain a free ticket at the will call window at the pedestrian entrance. And teacher may order students tickets by making the request on school letterhead and sending to tickets@hamvention.org. So if you're a high school student and you want to come and you're listening to this podcast, or maybe you want to get your son or daughter into the Hamvention and have the teacher send a letter to tickets@hamvention.org verifying that they're a student, and they can get in for free and save yourself $30. So not a bad deal. I think that's pretty good. Now, if you're bringing someone under the age of 12, it's even better news for you. Kids get in free when accompanied by a ticketed adult. So there's group and club ticket options too. If you're coming with your local ham crew, you might be able to get a multi-club discount or something. But I can tell you one thing. The only thing you're going to find probably at the Hamvention this year and every year usually is that the parking is always free. So there is a shuttle service that takes you from the satellite lots. That's usually provided for easy access and for those a little bit longer walks that may be a little tougher, because once you get in there, you have a long ways to walk around. It takes some while to get through it, especially if you go out to the tailgate area, out into the field. That can be a heck of a walk out there, and getting around as well, especially if you're a little older, it can be a little tougher. So it's good that you can get a ride from the shuttle up to the gates at least, and it can become a little muddy. I know last year it just looked like a 4x4 fest out there. Some of the ruts and things that happened after the rain on, I believe it was Friday. We got an afternoon rain, and that was, or maybe it was late morning, and it just looked like a 4x4 party out there in the middle of those parking lots of all that grass field area. It was crazy. But, hopefully you can find a good solid place to get in and out, and get in and out pretty easy without too much mud. I think they were calling for a little rain maybe on Saturday this year. I've not looked at the weather forecast. I think it's a little far out still, or more than 10 days. And so I'm not going to sweat it quite yet with weather, but we'll see where it goes. If you're there first thing on Friday morning, again, that line is going to back up a long ways for you to get in. So be ready to stand, be ready to walk. And, there is some ground to cover there. So that is going to be important to be able to find a seat And there's plenty of seating around, a lot of benches and some bleachers style in between some buildings. There's some bleacher style benches there as well you can sit on. And, there's always the different forums and air conditioned buildings you can go into and get a seat in there if you need to sit down as well and take a break along the way. Now, you might ask, is there an app for that? Why, absolutely, there's an app for that. Mobile app for navigating Hamvention is around once again. It's not quite ready for this year's download at the time of this recording. I did check it just a day ago, and it was not quite there yet. It was not ready for download. But it's usually a pretty handy tool to have in your pocket for getting some of the latest info, your schedules, your forums, things like that. And we'll get into talking about some of the forums in just a minute here, because that's going to be another good year of forums coming from Dayton Hamvention. For directions and assistance in the Dayton area, once you get to your area, there's a talk-in on the DARE repeater 146.94 with an alternate of 146.985, and they both have a minus 123.0 PL. The talk and the crew will have up-to-date information on traffic conditions and parking. It will be able to provide rerouting directions if needed. And talk-in will be on the air starting at 7 a.m. on Thursday and Sunday and at 5 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. So be sure to listen if you have any questions. Sometimes there's a few bananas at large that get on there and want to be rude and interrupt and everything else, but we just have to deal with them. But they'll also offer traffic bulletins on 145.525. Again, the line's back up at the gate. So does the traffic around Dayton Hamvention this time of year. It gets to be very crazy. You can also listen on to a couple other 223.94 for and 442.1 for some other bands. Mid-cars will again monitor and provide travel assistance on 7.258. So if you're on HF. The Dayton Gateway W8RTL will be linked to the I'm guessing that is the it says D extra X reflector. So assuming that's going to be D star reflector, XRF 038 Charlie, and during Hamvention weekend, and also be available for use on 446.1000, a digital code squelch. Use number 13 as the D star simplex frequency at Hamvention. And DMR coverage is also available at N8 NQH repeater 44.875 color code 13 using talk group 310557 on time slot 2. You can find more of this information out as well over at Dayton Hamvention website. Now, if you're going to be going to Dayton Hamvention, there's obviously some travel, some restaurants, things like that you want to be able to probably try and attend while you're out and about. And so what would be a road trip to Dayton without doing some POTA along the way? Getting maybe a few more of your states knocked off the list. And so check out the K8MDB Mike Delta Bravo radio on YouTube for the best 5 POTA sites to visit while at Hamvention. So just a hint, a tip there for you that might be worth checking out. The 5 best parks to do POTA sites in could be very handy, of course. And I don't know how many people know this. I've known it for quite a while, but never done it. I've kind of tempted myself a time or two to thinking about it, but you want to save yourself a couple bucks, maybe worth doing. And of course, Hamvention can't happen without them. And that is volunteers. We volunteer for all kinds of stuff across the board. And maybe you don't want to go there and work or do something, but I can't imagine the tasks are too tedious, and not wouldn't be too bad to do. So if you're strapped for a little cash, you can volunteer, make your way into the event for free. A 6-hour or more commitment during or before Hamvention entitles you to 1 admission ticket, qualifying you for 2 prize drawings, a parking pass valid for all 3 days of the show, and 3, an exclusive Hamvention cap. So I bet a lot of people don't know that, and you don't have to be a member of the local Dayton Amateur Radio Association club to be a volunteer either. You can just be from anywhere. Just tell them, go out on the website, and they will fill out the form. Now, they don't always accept everybody, and slots may fill up, but if you can get in early, and you might still have time, they might still be short. I don't know, but go check them out. It might be something worth doing. And again, a little bit cheaper way to get into the Dayton Hamvention. So, Hamvention is known for its world-class forums. From a technical deep dive to regulatory updates, digital modes, satellite ops, income, and much more. If you're into learning new things or networking with folks behind your favorite modes and gear, this is where it happens. You can find some of the common YouTubers. You'll find a lot of well-known and educational people out there that have done a lot of teaching through amateur radio along the way, and they're always very glad to share and answer questions along the way as well. So this is just some of the forums. Can't do them all because there's just way too many. But this is just some of the forums you can attend this year by going to Dayton Hamvention. Andy's Ham Radio Linux, which is very good. It's a great course. Flux Radio, Elecraft, Lightning and Grounding, Ham Radio and the Law, Salty Walt's Portable Antenna Forum. So Salty Walt will be in there talking about his book. And he'll be in room 3 on Friday. So I didn't put what time of that was. I want to say it's like 10 or 11 a.m. So check your schedule for that. If you'd like to go visit that one, I'm sure that will fill up fast. That will probably be a full room as well. A lot of people follow Coastal Waves and Wires. So hopefully you'll get to see him there. Various other ARRL forums as well, of course, as well as Hints and Kinks for Nano VNA. So you get the picture. There's a lot of great topics and ideas covered that you can find one that probably best fits you, or you might find several that you want to attend. And most of these forums are usually pretty well attended. There might be one or two sometimes that have 10, 15 people in there only, but for the most part, they're always well attended. And there's over 50 different forums that you can attend across these 3 days. So I would say plan ahead, mark your must attends, and the schedule will be up on hamvention.org or closer to the show date. And I'm sure it'll be on the app as well. And I would probably make a schedule, print it out, and take it with you, put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack, and mark the ones you want to attend and put them in your phone with rooms and times so you can attend. You remember, hey, it's in room 3 at 10 a.m., whatever, it's at room 2 at 1 o'clock. Because if you're like me in the past, all of a sudden I'll realize it's noon and I missed a forum I wanted to attend at 10 or 11 o'clock, and I didn't put it in my phone as an alarm and kind of forgot about it. So anyway, that would be something I would suggest there. So let's take a break for a moment, but don't go anywhere. We've got more to the future of podcasts coming up right after this. And we're going to take a word right after this from ABR Industries here on the Ham Radio Guy.
Looking for top quality cables that you can trust? ABR Industries has you covered. Proudly American built and reliable, ABR Industries delivers premium coax cable and connectors for all your communication needs. Whether you're a ham radio operator, work in broadcast, or manage critical infrastructure, ABR ensures that you are connected when it matters most.
And it has such tremendously different characteristics.
From static to clarity, ABR products. Built tough, built here, built for you. ABR Industries. American built and reliable. Visit abrind.com today and experience the strength of superior connectivity. It's the only coax here in the W0MET Ham Shack. Use code SAVE10 Ham Radio Guy. ABR Industries, where reliability meets performance. Welcome back to the Ham Radio Guy. I'm excited to have you listening. And before we continue our chat about Dayton Hamvention 2025, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters again. Make sure they help make this podcast possible, and be sure to follow us over on social media for the latest updates, exclusive content, and a peek behind the scenes. Now we return to our regular scheduled programming. So more about Dayton Hamvention banquets. I had no idea until I started researching this that you could attend so many different banquets at Hamvention. Now, one of the highlights of Hamvention is the plethora of banquets you can attend, from annual awards, ceremonies, and banquets. Every year, the folks behind Hamvention recognize outstanding contributions to the amateur radio community with awards like Amateur of the Year. We've talked about that with Neil Rapp, the Technical Achievement, Special Achievement, and Club of the Year. This is a ticketed event, an evening, and it's held typically on Saturday night. It's a great way to unwind, network, and celebrate the community behind the best and the brightest. And so check out the website for banquet ticket pricing and RSVP details. Now, that may not be the only one, or it may not be the one you want to attend. And it's not the only one happening. So you can also check out Amateur Television Friday. It's a Friday night dinner at 6:30 at the China Garden Buffet Restaurant. And you can find all this information on the Hamvention website. At 7 o'clock, you can do the 34th annual Top Band Dinner at the Hope Hotel. The speaker is W2GD, Golf Delta. And tickets you can buy in advance at thetopbanddinner.com. Flex Radio has 2 banquets, both Thursday and Friday night, and this will be at the Hilton Garden Inn at the Dayton Beaver Park, and that starts at 6 p.m. both days. And get your tickets online. I believe they have stopped selling the banquet dinner tickets now online, so you may not be able to get those anymore. And I saw an email come out about those the other day. And then the Southwest Ohio DX Association will be holding its annual banquet as well at the Dayton Marriott. So get your tickets online from the Southwest Ohio DX Association. Then, we're not done. After you've eaten all your supper and gone through those presentations at the different banquets, you can go to a 11 p.m. pizza party at the Hope Hotel, sponsored by the Potomac Valley Radio Club, PVRC. You can find more at the contestsupersuite.com about that. That's Friday night, and I guess we had one for Thursday night for Flex Radio. Now for Saturday at 6:30, the 31st annual Dayton Contest Dinner hosted by the North Coast Contesters at the Hope Hotel. The speaker's KL9A, and the space is limited. You can go to contestdinner.com for that banquet. At 7 p.m., you could do the Contest Super Suite at the Hope Hotel, the Mad River Radio Club, and the Frank Ford Radio Club, the North Coast Contesters, and the Kansas City DX Club. So there's that one. And then 8 to 12, the Kansas City DX Pileup, CW Pileup competition will be at the Hope Hotel as well. So there's all kinds of things to do there on Saturday. Now, of course, you're visiting anytime you want to go travel. You always like to go try and see, well, what else is in the area. So here's some news about that. Visit the Clifton, Ohio. It's a home to Clifton Mill, a restored operating grist mill. Tours are available. And you can look for signs. Take I-70 east to exit 54 and take SR 72 south about 6 miles to Clifton and look for the Clifton Mill. You can visit the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. I've heard that is a very good good museum to go through, and it's definitely worth going through on that. For more information on other places such as the Bruckner Nature Center, the Double E Ostrich Farm, the Hobart Arena, Fulton Farms, Kenworthy Motocross, historic covered bridges. You can visit the Tourist Bureau and find out more information there. Maybe one of the rest stops, you might find some brochures along the way. But one of the biggest things you probably don't want to miss if you're going to Dayton is the Voice of America Museum, who will be doing extended hours during Hamvention as well. So I have not been there yet. I do want to get there. I don't know I'll be able to get that this year, but hopefully in the future we will be, because it's been under some scrutiny whether it can close or not close. We'll see where that goes, but because of funding and some of the Trump stuff. But I think the museum itself is going to stay open. I think that's going to be pretty safe. So, guys and gals, this is not your average Hamfest. This is not your local Hamfest that you're going to down the road, an hour away or in your local hometown. It's not a local Hamfest that you're going to be having 200 or 300 people at. It's the Hamfest. Over 30,000 hams are expected to come to Dayton. And there's plenty of room. You don't always realize 30,000 people there. And of course, that's kind of a combined of the 3 days. But at the same time, it can still be a little crowded, especially if you're going to go lunch at noon or 11:30. Those food trucks can get a little slim with, well, I don't use the word slim. The lines are long. You might be waiting a while for that, that chicken or cheeseburger. So anyway, but there's plenty of outdoor flea markets. They span across acres. I'd wear comfortable shoes, some good tennis shoes, bring a backpack because you're going to get tired of lugging that bag around all day long. And if you're a deal hunter, well, you're going to have to get there early because those deals will disappear very early out in the, one man's treasure, one man's junk's another man's treasure. So I would go check out the tailgate section first and then come back into the other vendors. I'm sure their equipment will still be there. They'll have all those other details hanging around for the day. But the good stuff out in the, in the treasure trove might not be there if you want to wait till later afternoon. And of course, you don't want to forget there's plenty of gear testing, vendor booths, special event stations, and there may be even Digital Rancher or somebody may be doing a satellite contact or two. Now, I've not heard if Ham Radio Crash Course or KM4ACK are going to be doing any type of contest again this year. I've not heard about that yet at this point, but I would expect they would probably be doing something, but I just don't know. And don't, yet because it may come around, but they've given away a 705 and stuff in the past, so it's pretty cool. And I'll be at Dayton this year, so if you see me walking around with my mic or camera, say hi. I'd love to hear your story, whether this is your first time or your 20th time in Dayton. So I'd love to talk with you and say hi, and I'll probably have stickers with me as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss any other upcoming episodes where I'll dive into many more great topics that I have planned and coming up. The other thing is, I'll just say this, travel and accommodations. This is getting to be 2 weeks out. So I know it can be a little tough probably already in January and February. So if you're thinking about going, last minute I'd get time off from work, I might just go now. You may be looking for that volunteer position if there's some available to get your ticket. But you may be wondering, okay, how am I going to stay? And I don't know you're going to find a regular hotel anywhere nearby within 10, 15 minutes. That's going to be under $300 a night probably. And, if you have not made those plans yet, it's going to be a bit difficult. It's not impossible, but the hotels are going to obviously, like I said, have increased prices. Rental cars, if you're having to fly in, may be limited. Flights are going to be more expensive close to the date. And if you're going to stay, your local lodging accommodations might be now 30 to 45 minutes out from Xenia. And, if you're able to find any last minute accommodations like a VRBO or Airbnb, that might get you in a little bit closer. It's very possible. Let me know. I know a lot of people will book these type of accommodations as well for a few days. And, it works out very well for them. So that might be a great way to consider doing that. I kind of had to do that in Hamvention this year. It was a little bit of a last minute, change of plans, and I didn't really expect that, but it's just the way it happened. So, well, anyway, that is all I got wrapped up for Dayton Hamvention this year. Hopefully give you a little bit more knowledge around some of what's going on and, what you might expect. So I hope that was informative, that you enjoyed that. And, if that was helpful for you, please let me know. Send me email or leave a comment in the, in the comments field. Well, a big thank you to all the patient supporters again for making this Ham Radio Guy podcast possible. Your contributions really help keep the content coming and mics on. If you're looking for all things ham radio, visit my Patreon page over at the Ham Radio Guy. You'll find exclusive content, product reviews, exciting blog posts, and much more. And something I've not mentioned yet is I've got 2 videos semi-prepared for doing some stuff about barbecue. You'll see my latest ones I did on some ribs this past week. Boy, they were good too. Let me tell you, they were phenomenal. So I think that's kind of an exciting thing to bring to the show. It's a little different, but ham radio and barbecue. You can, whether you're, out doing a party event and you're cooking, or if you're just, on your back porch and you want to spend some time waiting for those burgers or something to cook, why not go play a little radio in the meantime? So, I think that's a great way to go. And, it's certainly something I enjoy doing it. Well, folks, that is it. For this episode of the Ham Radio Guy. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Don't forget to share your thoughts, questions, or stories. Email me or connect over on Twitter and Patreon. If you enjoy the show, leave a review, share it with a fellow ham, and help grow the community. If you're enjoying the podcast, consider supporting me over at Patreon. Your support helps the show, keeps it running, and allows us to bring you even more great content. Until next time, 73 and happy hamming. Keep those antennas high and the signal strong. And I'll catch you on the next episode of the Ham Radio Guy, 73.